Hello everyone. I, Ms. Bhavna Danesh Munod, welcome you all in Agricultural Development Trust, Shardabai Pawar, Mahila Arts, Commerce and Science College, Sharda Nagar, Baramati. Today, dear students, last period we were studying about types of income and we saw what is fixed income, fluctuating income, money income, real income, contractual income, residual income, and earned income. Unearned income was remaining, children, that we'll see that what is unearned income. So unearned income is what? Unearned means what? Income received from all sources without indulging any productive activity. Example, wind farm gains, lottery prizes, etc. That is called as unearned income. So income received from all the sources without involving any productive activity, children. Whatever lottery prizes are there or windfall gains, anything, that is called as unearned income. Then come to next, economic activities. Now economic activities are what? They are classified into four types, children. See, economic activities classified into four types. So in that four types include production, distribution, exchange and consumption, children. So income, you know that suddenly unexpectedly you got money without doing anything, that is lottery, for example, lottery prize, that is unearned income. Then we come to the next point in the chapter, that is economic activity, children. Economic activity includes four things: production, distribution, exchange and consumption. So what is production? Now see over here, production is what? Creation of utility. So there are four factors of production, that is land, labor, capital and entrepreneur. Keep in mind, children. Now economic activity divided into four types, that is production, distribution, exchange and consumption. Now we are studying first part, what is the production. Now production is what? Including four factors: land, labor, capital and entrepreneur. Now we will see the four factors of production. The first one, children, that is land. Now keep in mind, land is what? In economics it is a wider term. Land is a natural factor of production, children. Land is a fixed asset. So any natural resources that is available above and below the surface of the earth, it is called land in economics, children. So example, minerals which are found below the surface of the earth, soil, water on the surface of the earth, air, sunshine, wind, these are above the surface of the earth. So land, say, below the surface of the earth, above the surface of the earth, on the surface of the earth, it is called as land, coming under factors of production. And land earns rent, children, in productive factor. So the first factor of production is what? Land. Land is a fixed asset. It is a natural thing, children. It is a wider term. So any natural resources is called as land, which is available on surface of the earth is what? Land, that is minerals. Below the surface of the earth we have soil. Water on the surface of the earth we have air, sunshine, wind above the surface of the earth. So land also earns rent in productivity activity. Now what is labor? And land is a fixed factor, children. It is an immobile factor of production, means land we cannot move from one place to another. Geographical location, land is there, and it is also called as immobile factor of production, means what? We cannot move from one place to another place. Land is on fixed thing. We cannot increase or decrease also. Next factor of production is what? Labor. Now what is labor over here? Labor is a human factor of production. Any physical or mental effort undergone during the process of production to earn the reward of wages is called as labor, children. Example, carpenter, accountant, engineer, etc. So labor means what, children? We only, human beings who work for money. Yes or no? So there carpenters will be there, doctors, lawyers, teachers will be there, accountant will be there, engineers. Why we are working? We are doing work only. Work is a part of labor. So we work for money. So our human activity, that means physically or mentally we are working, we are doing efforts in the process of production, that is called as labor. Why we do work? To earn the reward, say in wages, to earn that profit, that is called as labor. So here they have given example: carpenter, accountant, engineer. Now the third factor is also important, children, in economics, in factors of production, that is capital, money. Every business requires money, whether it is big or small. So capital is required. So capital is also another factor of production. And capital, keep in mind, it is a man-made factor. It is not a nature's gift. So capital is a man-made factor of production which earns the reward in the form of interest. Example: machinery, technology, factory building, etc. So capital means what? A man-made factor, a factor of production. So it is earning in the form of interest. The reward we are getting, that is machinery, technology, factory building, in the form of interest, that is called as capital. And the last factor in production is entrepreneur, children. Entrepreneur. So entrepreneur is the organizer who is real captain of the industry. He is a special kind of labor who gets the work done to earn the reward of profit in the process of production. So entrepreneur comes under fourth factor of production, children. So he is who? He is an organizer. He is called as captain of the industry also. Entrepreneur having many qualities, children. See, entrepreneur means a leader, a captain of the industry. If a leader has good qualities, the industry or the company will always be in profit. So qualities of leader we have seen: he should be effectiveness, he should be having leadership qualities, he should take risk factor, he should take decisions properly. So an entrepreneur should have all those qualities. Then only the company can become successful. So entrepreneur is the organizer. It is also called as real captain of the industry. He is a special kind of labor who gets the work done to earn the reward of profit in the process of production. So production, four factors we studied, children. That is, see, land, labor, capital and entrepreneur in economic activity. And economic activity includes what? Production, distribution, exchange and consumption. Now we come to the next one, that is, what is distribution. Now distribution means what, children? We studied about goods and services. Goods means we are using that. Services means we are providing. So distribution means what? It is a division of factor rewards among different segments of the society. So distribution is factors of production claim their rewards of rent, wages, interest and profit to the process of distribution. Distribution means things are distributed in society. So it will come land, labor, rent, wages, interest, profit. Whatever the things are, they distributed in the society. That is called as distribution. Exchange. So in exchange it will be monetary or non-monetary exchange, children. Exchange means what? Refers to sale and purchase of goods and services. So exchange means what? Goods and services are exchanged. So in economics, exchange is necessary a monetary transaction. Monetary transaction means what? We are exchanging goods in terms of money. So that is one factor. Distribution is there, exchange is there, and the last one in this is under economic activity, consumption, children. Consumption means what? We are using the things. Consumption over here is what? We are using the things, making use of things, making use of goods and services in our daily lifestyle. That is called as consumption. Now we come to our next topic, next point in this chapter, children, that is macroeconomics. Now micro we studied, as I told you, microeconomics what? Studying individual thing, individual household, individual firm, individual industry, studying only single thing. But macro means things studied in a larger way, in an aggregate way. So macro means aggregate or total, large or total. And macroeconomics is therefore the study of aggregates covering the entire economy. So what it studies? Total employment, national income, national output, total investment, total savings, total consumption, aggregate supply, aggregate demand, general price level, etc. So this is studied by who? Macroeconomics. So according to Professor Kenneth Boulding, definition of macroeconomics is as follows: macroeconomics deals not with individual quantities, but with the aggregate of these quantities, not with the individual income, but with the national income, not with individual prices, but with the general price level, not with individual output, but with national output. So, all the things are studied in lump sum way, in an aggregate way, that is called as macroeconomic definition by Professor Kenneth Boulding. So, I repeat again, macro means it deals not with individual quantities, but with aggregates of these quantities, not with individual income, but with national income, not with individual price, but with general price level, not with individual output, but with national output. So, this is Professor Kenneth Boulding definition regarding macroeconomics. Now, the basic concepts of macroeconomics we will see, children. The first one regarding basic concept of macroeconomics is national income. Now, see, national income is calculated, children, according to rent plus wages plus interest plus profit plus import minus export, means exim, that is x minus m. Then your national income is calculated. So, national income means what? Country's economic performance, country's financial position, nation's economic performance. So, that is called as total income of the country, national income. The first concept in macroeconomics, studying about what? National income, the total income of a country. So, how national income is defined as, let us see. A national estimate measures the volume of commodities and services turned out during a given period, counted without duplication, that is called as national income definition, children. According to the committee, see, whatever commodities are there, whatever services are there during that particular year, you count that. Say 21 this year is, so March 21 till March 22, that particular year, 1 year you take all the countings of goods and services and without any duplication, means double counting should be avoided. So, when these things are done, you are counting about country's economic performance. So, it is a measurement, a national estimate measure which volumes of commodities and services turned out during a given period of time without any duplication. It is called as national income, children. Then the second basic concept of macroeconomics is savings. Now, you know savings is what? Saving money. Everyone saves money for what? Future requirements. See, simple example, I will daily save 200 rupees. Why? In future, from that 200 rupees, say monthly I save 200 rupees and then it becomes 6,000 in a month. So, from that 6,000 rupees, I can purchase any nice commodity, I can purchase any nice beautiful dress for myself. That's why I am doing saving. So, thinking about future, I am doing saving. That is called as saving. So, saving is that part of income, children, which is set aside to satisfy the future needs by foregoing current consumption. In other words, saving is that part of income which is not spent currently on consumption. Now, see, children, suppose your family, say your daddy gives you pocket money of 1,000 rupees monthly. What you do? Whole 1,000 rupees you will not spend. You will consume only 500 rupees and 500 you will do saving. Why? In future, that saving will make you purchase any different commodity which are you requiring, which are you in need in emergency cases. That's why saving is done for future. Means that part of income which is not immediately spent out, it is saved. That is called as saving. Then the third one is investment. So, investment means you do savings more. That is investment type only for future requirement. So, here investment refers to creation of capital assets through mobilization of savings, example machinery and equipments they have told. So, investment over here is referring to what, children? Creation of capital asset. Asset has been created by means of savings. So, we are using savings to create asset, to invest money. Say we purchase land, we purchase a property by a savings. That is called as investment. So, here machinery, equipment they have told. Then the next comes trade cycles. Now, what are trade cycles? Trade cycles are fluctuations in business, children. The ups and downs in overall economic activities. So, ups and downs means what? Fluctuations caused by inflation and depression, respectively. That is trade cycle. Now, inflation period means what, children? When everyone is having a job, everyone is working at home, and the country's economic growth and development or country's economic currency ratio is very high. The budget is in surplus. Then that time you will tell that country is under inflation period, surplus period. Then depression means what? Without any reason, people are removed from jobs without knowing. Now, this pandemic, this corona, this pandemic has a very good example for you in front, children. In this pandemic period, 2 years, many people have lost their jobs without any reason, because everyone wants to earn profit, everyone was doing cost cutting, people were not affordable to pay salary to every employee, so employees were told to sit at home. That is called as depression period. Without any reason you are removed from job. So these are trade cycles, that is inflation and depression respectively. It comes under trade cycles. So there are ups and downs, fluctuations in this trade cycles. So we studied about saving, we studied about investment, we studied about trade cycles. Now we'll see inflation means what, children? As I told you, it is a continuous rise in general price level. Depression means what? Continuous falls in overall prices, lowering down of economic activity in general. So unemployment created to impact of cyclical fluctuations is called as cyclical unemployment. So they have given an example. As I told you, people without any reason are removed from jobs, trade cycle, that is called as cyclical unemployment. Then the next term, children, is economic growth. Economic growth and economic development, these are two more important terms, as well as we study with micro and macroeconomics. So the term economic growth is always a quantitative dimension, children. In simple words, economic growth means what? Increase in real national income of a country over a long period of time. That is called as economic growth. So increase in real national income over a longer period of time, that is called as economic growth. Then what is economic development? So economic development is a qualitative concept, children. It is a qualitative dimension. Economic development requires both progressive changes, say in certain important variables which determines well-being of the people, that is education and health. That is called as development and growth. So economic growth is always, keep in mind, children, quantitative concept, and development is a qualitative concept. Now for example, children, simple example of economic growth and economic development I will tell you. Now children, say 2 times if people are getting food, that means the country is coming under economic growth. 2 times. 2 times they are getting proper meals. Quantity wise, 2 times if the people are getting meals, children, that means the country is coming under economic growth. And then development means what? When while eating, children, you check the quality of rice, for example. So quality of rice, when people starts checking, that means you are coming under development part. So economic growth is coming under quantitative dimension, economic development is coming under qualitative dimension, and this both important, children, both things, growth and development for country. So they have given an activity in your textbook that find out which of the following terms is a part of microeconomics or macro. As I told you, micro means studying of individual thing and macro means studying in a large way. So we will see. Global poverty means what? Global means we are studying universally. So under that macroeconomics will come. Price of a commodity, micro will come. BOP, balance of payments, macro will come. Profits of a firm, micro will come. National economics or national income, macroeconomics will come, because to study national income it is compulsory that we should know what is macroeconomics. So this is a kind of activity, and the last point of your chapter, children, is what is the difference between economic growth and economic development. Let us see. Economic growth means increase in real national income of the country. Economic development means economic growth plus progressive changes in certain important variables which will determine well-being of the people. So economic growth is narrow and quantitative. Economic development is broader and qualitative. Economic growth is possible without economic development, but economic development is not possible, children, without economic growth. Keep in mind. Economic growth is a unidimensional concept, universal, and economic development is a multidimensional concept, children. So economic growth is always spontaneous and reversible. Economic development is irreversible. We cannot change it. It is deliberate. Economic growth is measured in terms of national income and per capita income, PCI, children. PCI is included in economic growth, and economic development is measured in terms of agricultural productivity, industrial productivity, or quality of human life. See, there are three indicators to measure economic growth and economic development, children, that is PCI, per capita income, PCC, that is per capita consumption, and gross domestic production, GDP. PCI means individual's income is calculated. The formula is per capita income divided by total number of population, children. PCC means what? Per capita consumption, consuming things, how people are spending money. So that is also calculated as PCC is equal to what? Total per capita consumption divided by total number of population. And then last comes GDP, that is gross domestic production, total number of production divided by total number of population. This is how the indicators, the three terms related to national income are calculated: PCI, PCC and GDP, children. So we have seen regarding what is the difference between growth and development. Growth comes under quantitative dimension, development comes under qualitative. Under growth we study regarding per capita income as well as national income, but under development we study all, that is agricultural production, industrial production and quality of human life, children. So this we studied in this chapter, children. Last, I would just say a positive quote, that work hard, dream big and never give up, children. Whatever the difficulties will be there, whatever obstacles will be there in your life, even if you are feeling afraid for anything, just work hard, think big, dream big and never give up. That will be the thing or motivator for your life. Thank you, children. And so we'll meet for next chapter in the next video. Till then, bye and thank you.